Alright, hello, welcome everybody to this inaugural round of Season 5 here at ISRL Esports. It's the very first race that counts here out of all of our divisions. Divisions 4 kicking off the weekend in Austria. And we've got one crazy little race here coming up. 13 drivers in the lobby. I do hope one or two there join. I think they're supposed to, but if not, we still got a nice little grid on our hands here. And we are ready to go in Austria. We've got a couple of minutes here already drained out of qualifying. 13 minutes left, and we've got a few times set up on the boards. It's ISRL Hartman with a 104.670, just ahead of Victor, currently in provisional pole position. And on this opening weekend, as usual, it's there's no championship order already set out. There's no favorites. It's we've got our some ideas, but it's all pretty much up in the air, and we'll see if any of these drivers here can put their stamp on this Season 5 championship early and make it count. And I do have Jay Wills here in the party with me. And how is it going, my man?
Good. Little technical issues, but we're here. We're sorted.
Yeah, no worries. It happens. And excited to be in Austria. Is you got any ideas here for this race? I know this is, like I said, a brand new grid, essentially. Division 4 didn't exist last season. We don't really have any clear indication of who's going to be at the top, but I'm sure you've got a favorite, maybe somebody that you're thinking of there, and I am curious on who that might be.
I've raced the man who I've backed this season to win this division is Captain Blade. I've raced him quite a bit in other leagues, and I think he's one to watch out for this season, especially in this tier.
Yeah, he's been a driver pegged as a possible call-up, I suppose. Maybe moving up to a higher division if his pace is too quick. But if he is deemed to be, you know, Division 4 pace and he stays in this division, I think you're right. I think we could see a challenge there from Captain Blade. And maybe not the seasons he's wanted at Israel before. He did a lot of reserving before joining full-time, so he never had a full season. This is his first one, so maybe he can capitalize on that and get a good haul of points. And as you said, I mean, he is provisional P1 right now, 103.7, the first man into the 103s, but the track is still a bit green. And Greenwell Army there gets himself up into P6 with a 104.7 in the Williams. And I believe, is he the only Williams today? Or is Michael Fears is in the Aston, so...
Michael is in the Aston. I believe he's the only Williams. We have 2 Alpines, 2 Alphas, 2 McLarens, 2 Hasses, 2 Ferraris, Red Bull.
Yeah, and we did have 15 drivers checked in here today, so I do hope some of the other ones are able to join. Maybe just some technical issues with their internet or something, but we'll figure it out soon. I think Lorenzo actually was trying to join, but he had some technical issues. But either way, we've got a grid on our hands. We've got a race on our hands soon enough anyways. And 10 more minutes of this qualifying session, this inaugural qualifying session. And it's so important here, first day of the season, you've got to start off on the right foot. If you start the first race of the season off on a crash, something like that, it kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth, doesn't it?
Yeah, you obviously want to get off to the best start as possible, but what will be today, and it's realistically, it's also goes the other way. You have the whole season to rectify your mistakes or possible issues you have today as well, so it can work both ways.
Yeah, and that's a good point. If you're able to overcome that first, I guess, setback, that initial crash, you do have a long season ahead of you. It would be possible, indeed, to, overcome this and, in the end, still maybe win the championship or get a good result. But if you crash out of the first race, it's always harder to catch up than it is to hold back. So if you're already ahead,
you're playing catch up
yeah,
at that point, aren't you?
Yeah. If you're already ahead, you got that advantage. If you can come back, get some excellent results in race 2s and 3, well, maybe that result it's completely erased and it doesn't matter anymore. But that's not every driver who's able to do that, unfortunately.
No, not at all. And obviously, it's a long season, long way to go. But as the season does kick off, we have Victor putting himself into second place with a 104.1, still Captain Blade, the only man to go into the 103.7. But someone I'm looking for, Michael Fures, to set a lap here. We'll see if he comes up the carriage at any time soon.
Yeah, he's still in the pits. I do think he saw some on-track action just a little bit ago, but he's currently in the pits. No time set for Michael Fures, and in the Aston Martin could...
So could Devon. He will appear as he comes out the pit lane.
And he does, indeed, yeah, as Luciano crossed the line on the mediums. That's a 104.7, one of only 2 drivers on the mediums right now. Michael Fures, we were just talking about him there, on his outlap. So we'll tune in on board with him shortly. And for now, though, I think let's go, let's check out Philip Marshall here in the Haas as he's on a hot lap. We've got a yellow flag, but I think that's just a slow car letting others through. What can Philip Marshall do here? Sorry?
He was backwards at the end of sector 1 at turn, I believe that's turn 3? It's turn 3, isn't it? The
yeah,
top hill,
top of the hill, yeah.
Yeah, because that little left-hand kink, isn't it? That's counted as a turn in F1, which doesn't make sense to normal people like me, but...
It's not the only track, though. Russia has that, too, where there's a slight kink in the straightaway. You don't even have to turn, really, for it. But they still count it. I guess ultimately it's just a number, so it's not going to matter too much, but it is annoying when some people don't know it's a turn, and then you're trying to talk about it, and it's very confusing. Good news is it's not confusing when you're driving it, and a lot of these drivers probably won't have any issues. I think Michael Fures here is on his hot lap, so right on board with him as he's approaching turn 3. A bit wide on the apex there, bit of a moment on the exit, had to hesitate before he could get on the throttle. But off he goes, and as we get to the end of Sector 1, sorry, it's not the end of Sector 1, the end of Sector 2, we're already way past the end of Sector 1 on this track, as he's getting to turns 5 here. We're going to see that split, see if it's any competitive, but I am noticing he's going a little bit wide there, 44.5 after 2 sectors. And, big moment, that's going to be the end of his lap, I think, as he gets in the gravel there. And unfortunately for Michael Fures, it's going to be a do-over. And late in quali, he's going to have to hurry up. He's going to have to watch out for that Haas behind him as well, who's coming up rather quick. He's going to go for it again.
Yeah, on the same pair of mediums, well, maybe take an extra lap to go get the mediums up to 10th, but you never know. But
yeah,
obviously a non-competitive 109.3 there, but he'll be on to do better apparently. I guess on that pair of mediums to get an optimal strategy for what he wants to do today.
Yeah, with 6 minutes left, there's plenty of time here around Austria. Actually, I think he's backed out of it, so there's plenty of time around Austria to get around, get back in the pits. I think maybe he's just trying to get some heat in the tires there. I do think he's got another set, so it would be wise to use it. And I think
Pound was coming through to turn 3, and Rusty Ulcan gave him a bit of a squeeze. I think it's as he left the pit lane.
I was scrolling through the names, and I just caught a glimpse of that. I'm not sure if anybody on the stream saw it long enough to make out what it was, but indeed, that did look like a close call there. Didn't get a whole lot of it on screen, but enough to know what happened. Hopefully that did not impact Razorpone's lap too much, because if it did, could be looking at a penalty for impeding in qualifying here. But we'll figure that out at the end of the race, regardless of what happens. It's not going to happen now. We've got a race, and then the stewarding is going to happen later this week. That's when we're going to know.
Yeah, Razorpound bails on his lap. Michael has done a 106.4 slow lap, so he's now on this fast up on that pair of medium compounder tyre. Let's see what his Sector 1's like. It's 7 tenths or 7.5 tenths better. It's a 16 flat through Sector 1. Let's see what we can do for the rest of his lap. Anyone else on the push lap?
And we will see. You're right. Yeah, 7:44 up on his time, or 0.744, I should say. He's approaching turn 4 right now, and it's a lot cleaner this time around. I do have to admit.
Yeah, I think Rusty Ulcan also on the push lap just behind him, as Greenwell Army was on the push lap, but looks to have bailed into pit lane. Maybe get a fresh pair of softs on. Go again. 1.9 up now through Sector 2. So let's see where this puts him through Sector 3. If he keeps it clean, he could be in for a decent little grid position here. All bit bumpy it looks. Little bit, but fairly clean. Up to the line now. Will he do a 103? No. Yes, he will. 103.9 on the pair of medium compounder tyre. He'll be happy with that lap, surely. Yeah.
That's one more driver there into the 103s. It's 103.907. So Captain Blade's got some company, but it's not very close company. He's still 0.15 roughly there ahead of his closest competitor. That's still a tight gap, and with the track warming up and gripping up, I think we might see some other cars here dipping their noses into the 103s. But so far, nobody can challenge Captain Blade, and it's that Rusty Oil Can who's had an issue there. I think he's had a spin turn 1. And with Fallen Monkeys coming up behind him on his hot lap, Fallen Monkeys has not set a time yet. We are going to... Yeah, Rusty Oil Cans has gotten away from there, so no risk of impeding him there. That's good for the Red Bull, but what's bad for the Red Bull is that half spin there coming out of turn 3. Kept it out of the wall. There's no damage on the front wing, it doesn't look like, but that is going to be a redo on his lap, and this late in qualifying, that's not what you want to be doing there, putting those extra laps on the softs, who do wear out fairly quickly around this track.
Yeah, they do. Sorry, excuse me, just quickly. I saw Captain Blade left the session, I believe it said, so I'm just going to try to send him another invite quickly.
That's a great call, and while you're at it, if you have the menu open, if you could send one to Lorenzo_1086. I believe that is the driver who was supposed to be in here and was not able to get in due to internet issues, but sending him an invite just in case wouldn't hurt too much.
Yeah, no worries. Just find the PSN.
Yeah, with qualifying dwindling down, we're seeing some strategy evolve. Racer Pone, Hartman, and One Wing currently on the medium tires. They're going to be trying to set their laps on that slightly harder compound. And thinking of those strategies, how is that going to translate into the race? Well, these guys on the mediums, technically you could do a one stop on either tires that you start on, because you could do a soft hard, you can do a medium hard. The softs do wear out quickly, so you are going to be losing some time there on the soft tires, but towards the end of your stint rather. But with the hards, you know, those are a slower tire, so it could kind of even out if you choose to do more laps on the mediums and then go to the hards. But there's also the option of doing a two-stop, and maybe we'll see some drivers try a soft medium run here, and it will be interesting to see how that pit strategy can come and affect it, because with the curves we've seen around Austria, I do predict at least one safety car here, and we didn't really have any last week because we had some smaller grids here for the preseason, but in Austria here, 13 drivers, hopefully at least 14 by the start of the race, but if not, it's all good. I think these 13 guys can still put on a great show. And as we approach the end here, who is on a lap? Victor's on a lap. Hartman, I believe, is on a lap. He's coming to the... No, he's just started his lap. Greenwell Army is just starting his lap as well. Catastrophic coming to the line, but that's an invalidation. It would have been a 104.2, and that would have brought him up to P5, but unfortunately he's extended the track. I think he's going to go for it again, though. I believe
Greenwell Army's actually on a slow lap currently, as he seems to back. Victor's into the pit lane as well. Mike Furez now out on his flying lap up to Sector 1. Let's see what he does. A purple 15.8 according to Codemasters.
And 2/10 up on his time. He's only 0.15 behind Captain Blade. If he's 2/10 up on his time, that is in P1 right now. He's just got to keep it together for the rest of the lap here. Coming around turn 4, he's at a 35 seconds on the exit. Coming to the end of Sector 2. It's important to not drift too wide on this turn. He's got a nice late entry to maximize the speed on the exit. He's doing quite well. He's still 2/10 up on his time as Rusty Olacan realizes he's not going to set another lap and retires from the session. Now, Michael Furez, the penultimate 2 corners, and around the final... Oh, he's going to invalidate around the final corner. That could have been pole position for Michael Furez. It would have been pole position for Michael Furez, but it's not. He is going to have... Oh, no, he's not going to have another chance because he's invalidated both laps on that, and that's going to be P2 for Michael Furez at best.
Yeah, I mean, the slight positive, if you can call it that, is the fact he will have the medium tyre to start on the front row. It's still a very, very decent tyre to start on at this stage.
Absolutely.
It can improve. I don't think many people are going quicker right now.
No, Philip Marshall not improving his time. We'll see if Hartman can improve his time. He's on the mediums, though, so it's going to be a bit of a hard task there for the Alpine, but as he's coming to the line, I think he might... Oh, no, he's just missed out on it by less than 2/10, and he could have started on the mediums in the top 10, but I don't think there's any reason to be disappointed for Hartmann there, because that was an excellent lap regardless. Captain Blade is going to improve his time. Not like it's going to change much. He's already P1. And is that it?
I think he's on just a fresher pair of softs, because the ones before were 3 lap old, I believe, and these are now just 1 lap old soft.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but Greenwell Army, he really snuck in there under the radar. He set a 103 as well. So we've got 3 drivers into the 103s here, 2 in the 103.9s, and then our pole position 103.636 as Captain Blade. And that's his first pole position in ISRL, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, early days he'll be hoping for more of those, but if you look, 2nd to 4th, very close, all within a 10th of each other, pretty much, just over a 10th, but... And then you have Captain Blade, obviously, 103.6. Marcus is probably a bit upset with himself, thinking that he could have improved if he had just, kept it clean around the final 2 corners, but overall, I don't think it's a bad thing to be 2nd on probably what's a better race tyre compared to the softs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can qualify on whatever tires you... Well, you can't qualify on the hards, but you can qualify on the soft, the mediums. But a lot of these drivers here, if they qualify on the softs, for them, that's compromising their race strategy. And so just because you get pole in qualifying does not guarantee you the win going into the race. It doesn't guarantee you the best strategy or position. You think of Russia, and P3 and P2 are the best starting positions there because of the long toe to the line. So pole position is good because you do start at the front. That doesn't always mean you're going to be there come turn 1. Luckily for Captain Blade, it's a short run up to the hill here in Austria. And I do hope, at least for him, that he's going to be able to hold on here until that turn 1. We are going to load into the race here. I suppose now that we've seen qualifying, Jay Wills, it's only fair if I ask you if you've got any different predictions here for the race. You said Michael Fierez earlier. Is that still your bet?
I'm going to stick with Michael Fierez just because of how he controlled the pre-season race we had in Hungary, really, for a long period of time. He was just, did very well, and then starting on a medium compound of tyres. So it all depends on turn 1 though, because he is starting on the inside and it's quite the tight turn 1, 90-degree corner pretty much. So if he gets stuck on the inside, he might have to back out, lose a couple of positions. But if he can get the move done into turn 1, and then up the hill, get a good exit, you never know.
The good news is about this track is you got 3 DRS zones back to back to back. So even if he doesn't make it into first place by turn 1, I'm sure he's going to be in a good position, at least if he can hang on until the DRS opens. He's going to be in a good position to maybe get some slipstream and then use that to help himself get to the front. Now, the disadvantage Michael Fierez is going to have, and we can see just the difference in how much they're warming up their tires, that he is on the medium tires. He's going to need a lot more force and a lot more energy to go through those tires before they warm up to a competitive or their peak competitive temperatures. And Captain Blade is on the softs. He's going to be able to get his tires warmed up nice and easy. And you can just see Captain Blade's taking it nice and easy. He's not even weaving his tires yet. He doesn't want to waste any of that grip and put too much temperature in. He's going to wait till later in the lap. And then right behind him, Michael Fierez weaving about, trying to get as much heat as he can in there. And I do hope for both of these guys in the front that the rest of the grid isn't too slow in this formation lap, because that could be a huge disadvantage to Michael Fierez if he sits on that P2 slot too long.
No, it seems fairly bunched up, but yeah, Captain Blade actually not wanting to waste any of the grip on that soft compound of tyre, whereas Michael Fierez is having to weave quite aggressively to get those medium compound tyre into the right operating window off the start phase. And if you're starting on a medium, if he doesn't get the best of starts, maybe tyres are a bit cold, the soft runners around him could absolutely gobble him up really into turn 1 and then up the hill as well if he doesn't get the best exit. But it's Fallen Monkey, everyone outside the top 10 quickly, I'm going to say, is on fresh mediums as well, so that could possibly play a part if they've got the pace to stick with the top guys.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting as we get late into the race. Michael Fierez there, I think, showing us maybe a sign of what's to come as he gets a little cheeky formation lap overtake done, and he's going to get the lineup on his grid slot first. But it is still the second place grid slot, doesn't get to make the overtake stick, not until this corner right up here. We are going to find out who might win the championship, who is definitely going to win this race today. It's a long season ahead, but it starts right here in Austria. So we got 3, 4, 5 red lights, and they're off as everybody gets a pretty good start. I think that's one of the Haas's or the Alpines getting slow off the line. Captain Blade into turn 1 unchallenged as Michael Fierez slots in behind, side by side behind though. That's the Alpine and the Williams of Greenwell and Victor. And they're still side by side all the way down the run to turn 3. Is anybody going to yield into turn 1? Michael Fierez thinking of a move behind them. No yielding, but they're clean through turn 3. And the Alpine of Victor having a slot behind the Williams of Greenwell for P3 and P4 there, and everybody getting through the first couple of corners nice and clean. Michael Fierez not losing too much time there on the mediums. It seems like he's done a good job warming them up, and he's got the right amount of grip, at least at the start of the race. It's Lucianok P5. Has there been much switching around in the positions? Rusty Oil Can up 4 positions somehow. That went quite a bit under the radar. One Wing down 4 positions as well, and Hartman down 3 positions. Hartman is on the mediums though, so he's going to be struggling with the same tire issues as Michael Fierez.
One wing into the pit lane.
And that might be why he's lost some positions. That could be wing damage for One Wing. And he's going to have to go on the hard tires probably. And I do apologize on the stream if suddenly you have trouble hearing us, because my game sound just went up like 20% out of nowhere. So in the stream, if you guys are having trouble hearing us now or the sound's all messed up, just give us a shout in the comments. We'll try to fix it. Until then, let's focus on the race here. And it's Victor now trying to chase down Michael Fierez. As you can see, our leader, Captain Blade, just making a bit of a gap there, darting off in the distance. And he's going to be, I think, on a comfortable pace for now. That yellow flag's nothing to worry about. That's in turn 1, but there's nobody there.
Racer Palm went round at turn 1, I believe. So that might just be a bit delayed. Possibly.
Yeah, could be. Our timing board is still a little bit messed up, so could be it as well. DRS is enabled on this lap as Michael Fierez sets the fastest lap.
Yeah, Michael Fierez though already outside that 1 second DRS window at the moment compared to the people behind him who are all in a bit of a DRS train at the moment, realistically.
Absolutely. It's
Captain Blade at the fastest lap now on the 6th flat.
Yeah, and that's weird because Captain Blade is not anywhere near the start-finish line. So a bit of lag here, I think, in what we're seeing on the commentator's side. But that isn't lag. Is that who is that? It's Philip Marshall in the Haas.
Or no front wing on the Haas.
Did you see what happened there?
No, but what I'd assume is that corner where the damage was because it was on the right hand side. Michael Fierez already gets a 3-second corner cutting time penalty, but Philip Marshall, I'd assume, got the power down too quickly coming through turn 3, and the rear end just went from behind him and he put it straight in the right hand side wall. Would be my prediction.
A possibility. We know the curbs around Austria can be deadly if you happen to put a little bit too much gas on them. And of course, drivers still getting used to the handling on these cars somewhat. It's still a fairly new game. I mean, for us, we've been playing it for what, a month now? It feels like we're used to it, but there's still a lot of stuff that might surprise us when we try it out in race conditions. It's a little bit different in time trial when you're playing solo. You don't have that pressure, but you get wheel spin in when you're at the front of a pack in a race there. You got the pressure on you. Who knows how you're going to react or if your instincts are going to kick in the right way. For now, though, Captain Blade's instincts seemingly working great as he's got a 2 second lead now on the soft tires. But don't read too much into that, as we know Michael Fierez on the mediums. He's going to be able to go much longer into the race. And if we've got a safety car coming at any point, then that lead can instantly evaporate.
Yeah, and I've just seen a little thing from the start again, gone and checked it back. I believe it was this Alfa Romeo sent it quite deep into turn one, possibly where the damage came from for one wing, but I don't know how to say that now, I don't know where to start pronouncing that name, but the one in seventh, if you give it, I don't know where you'd start to pronounce that name. I'm horrific with names.
Sorry, which car are we?
Oh, it's the McLaren.
Oh, that's Rusty Oil Can.
Yeah, oh, I don't know.
Catastrophic. Catastrophic. Yeah.
I'm not getting names, so yeah, we'll go for that. But he apparently sent it slightly in towards turn one, and that could possibly be where that's come from.
It could be then contact between teammates. So not the way you want to start season. Oh, and what's going on here? I think
Captain Blade lagged out, I believe. If I try pinging him right quickly.
Do think so? I hopefully his lead is large enough that it's not going to cost him the position. But as we can see, he is ghosted here, so some internet issues for later. Oh no! And right behind him, Michael Fierez takes the curve. He's going to spin around here. He's no damage. He's able to keep it going, but that's a loss of positions as he drops all the way down into P6. It says P5 on the ticker there, but Captain Blade is still in P1. And hopefully no damage on the tires, but now Michael Fierez at a disadvantage as he's got that extra graining, got that extra wear on them, and lost some positions for good measure. We were talking about catastrophic right as we saw Rusty Oil Can hit the wall turn one here last lap. He got wing damage out of that. Catastrophic is a long time former driver. He didn't race last season, season 4, but was involved behind the scenes. He's actually the guy who coded and, I guess you could say coded because they're complicated enough that it's basically code, but built all of our custom standing systems. So if the division managers have anybody to thank, it's this driver right here in the Alpha, and longtime driver there, involved behind the scenes for a while. We love Catastrophic around here, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of celebration if he can get that Alpha anywhere up in the podium places on his comeback race.
Yeah, Captain Blade back in the session, but had a bit of a moment. Says I think he's from P13, but he is still in the lead from what I can tell. But
yeah, he's absolutely is in the lead. It may be as soon as he picked up the controller again, as soon as he took control of his car, I would assume.
Yeah, possibly. I'd assume so.
And it's see, this is weird because Captain Blade was in the lead. We know for sure he's in the lead, but now he's just overtook Rusty Olacan, and I do wonder if the game maybe thinks that he's getting blue flags, isn't he?
Yeah, I assume the game must be thinking he's a lap down, which is now makes it quite an interesting position to put us in, because trying to figure out where
he's letting the leaders by. So maybe in that lag out, I'm not sure what happened, but he was in the lead fair and square. He's now a lap down, Captain Blade. That does put Greenwell Army, at least for this game here, for this race, in the lead. But that is weird. If he doesn't let those cars by, though, for Captain Blade, he can pick up penalties, and that's, I think, why he did it.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's really interesting. I've never really seen anything like this before, so it's
and
a very
actually
unique situation to be in.
Funnily enough, we had a glitch on our season opener in Austria last season that involved what happened? It was with Scar Logan, I believe, and it involved a safety car, and essentially the safety car picked up P2. And not him, and so he was a lap ahead of everybody else for the entire race.
Yeah. Ooh.
Rusty Oil Can
tied in the pit lane.
Yeah, Rusty Oil Can having enough of that, and Captain Blade there. Yeah, he's trying to get out of the way, but it must be frustrating for him. You are leading this race. You had pole position, and now you've found yourself way at the back, and it does look like see, Captain Blade. He's got the extra pace, so I think he's trying to unlap himself. But you got to be careful. In our rules there, if you're unlapping yourself and you impede the lead lap drivers too much, you can get a penalty. The thing is, he's not a lap down. So it's going to be interesting for the stewards here this week.
It's very weird one for the steward. And he's still ghosted. I don't know if it's for you. If you get on board with him, he's ghosted on my screen. Obviously,
he is. He absolutely is. Yeah.
When he gets too close, it's ghosting him. But he shouldn't be ghosting. He shouldn't really be acting like it's a lap down.
Oh, he should be in the lead right now. And the only reason he's not is because the game's forcing him back. Yeah.
Another fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Saying he's in P12, but it's very weird on for the stewards. It's going to be, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, if I had an advice for Captain Blade is, you're P1, you haven't gone a lap down. I would just race like I was and try to appeal any penalties the game might give me to the stewards. And because personally, and I guess I am a steward, so I shouldn't be taking a stance on this right now, but personally, if he finishes technically a lap down, but ahead of our leader, I might consider that the win. I mean, he was never a lap down.
A lap down, it's sort of half a dozen in one and 6 in the other sort of situation where, yes, he is the leader, but according to the game and, well, to Greenwell Army's knowledge, Greenwell Army thinks he's in the lead, and Captain Blade is a lap down according to him and the game, really. So
Captain Blade has, I guess, technically unlapped himself, so if there is a safety car here, he could catch up to the back of the pack and then work his way through the field, and I think that would be a moot point. We wouldn't even have to talk about it if he can get a good result out of that. It would still obviously suck, but I think it would probably save the steward some headache. But now that he's back at the front of the pack there and he's unlapped himself, I guess now we just have to sit, wait, and hope that he can catch up.
Yeah, but there's was that Luciano's into the wall at turn 3 doing what I believe his teammate did earlier. So the Hass is going around at turn 3. Gunther will not be happy with that.
There's going to be a lot of red, white, and blue carbon fiber there on the inside of turn 3 because that's the second Haas to lose a front wing there. And you're right, I think Gunter, in real life he said that his drivers were crashing the cars too much. I think virtual Gunter might be about to say the same thing as we are seeing our first round of pit stops. Oh, Luciano going very wide there. No downforce on that car.
Yeah, especially this year, I believe that when you get front wing damage, it's so much more catastrophic to your race pace. I thought knocks your pace about so much more, and obviously you know front wing.
And we are racing on standard damage and standard damage rate. Simulation damage rate would make it even harder to drive, to the point where if you're losing an end plate, you're basically going off the track. You're losing a second lap. So you can only imagine what that's going to do with no front wing at all. We are midway through the first round of pit stops here, as you can see on my screen, or on the stream rather. A lot of drivers on the mediums. We've got 3 drivers on the mediums that they started on. That's Racer Pone, Fallen Monkeys, Gravel Trap. They've managed to work their way up the grid to 3rd, 4th, and 5th. If there are one stopping, they could be in a good situation. We've got a yellow flag.
Captain Blade's gone round, which now makes this even more complicated because he's able to unlap himself again.
And luckily for him, the pack of leaders has thinned out a bit. And he's spun around again. The tires are cooked there, and he's pushing just a little bit too hard. And he's parked in a very awkward position here. He's just going to want to get turned around for the rest of the grid. It catches up. And I mean, that's our predictions out of the window, isn't it? Our Michael Fures has spun. Captain Blade, our pole sitter, has spun. And now it's Greenwell Army and Catastrophic leading the way. And I don't think either of us had either of those two on the winner's step before this race.
No, Greenwell Army obviously showed decent pace in qualifying, being the only other man on the sub 104 train, shall we say. But he's now sort of, Captain Blade goes from bad to worse.
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't condone drivers quitting the races early. I feel like Captain Blade has a very valid case for not finishing this race.
Wouldn't you?
I mean, it's everything that could have gone bad for Captain Blade pretty much has gone bad. He's lagged out. The game has glitched on him and put him a lap down. He's had a spin, and basically what started off as a pole position and a great start, because let's be real, he was leading by 2 seconds. This man had an excellent start to this race. He looked like a sure winner. It's just unfurled in front of him, in front of us, and it does put him, unfortunately, I think, pretty much in de facto last place at this point, even if we did consider him on the lead lap.
Yeah, at this point, he's almost, he's only, half a lap down from actually being lapped at some point. Obviously, leaders still have to pit, but still not a situation you want to be in, obviously, at the end of the day.
Absolutely not. 13 laps out of 36, and I do want to point out this has gotten cloudy. I don't think we're going to get rain. The drivers weren't saying we were going to get rain, but you know, approximative weather in this game. You don't actually know what's coming all the time. It is a bit of a guesswork later in the race, so we could yet see a couple of drops there if it keeps getting cloudier. It is still sunny though, so I wouldn't exactly count on it if I'm any of these drivers. I would just race like if it's a dry race until the end. For now, we're on board with Greenwell Army. You can really see that blistering starting in that line of wear right through the middle of the tires. 13 actually laps on these tires, plus the quali. These are getting old, and I do think he's pushing for a one-stop at this point, because it wouldn't make much sense to run these softs that far into the race if you're not going to be.
No, not at all. Even the medium runners are now coming in. That started on those mediums. Racer and Fallen Monkey are both into the pit lane. They're both onto a new pair of mediums, so they're committing to the two-stop strategy to go softs late on for a big end of race push, shall we say.
Yeah,
but
and
Catastrophic and Greenwell Army, surely on the one-stop, really.
I think they're trying to turn this and into a soft medium one-stop. A soft hard one-stop is doable. You'd have to pit around lap 10 or 11. We're on lap 14 now. If they can make a bit of a moment there for Greenwell, as the wear is really starting to take its toll on the tires. Yeah, if he can make 15 laps, if he pits at the end of this lap, he's basically got 21 laps to do on the mediums. And if he can make his softs last this long, and he's not pitting, so take another lap out of the medium stint. If he can make his softs last this long, he can make the mediums last this long. Catastrophic is going to pit, though. Mike, you'll...
Round, by the way.
Sorry?
Turn 3. Gravel trap round
at
turn
you're
3
right.
Again.
I completely missed that. I was focusing on the pit stops. No damage on that McLaren, so he's gotten a bit luckier than the Haas's. But unfortunately for gravel trap, P11 so far. The good news for all these drivers, they're all getting points. Our top 15 get points in ISRL. And gravel trap having a... I would say it's a good race for him. This is actually his... I'm pretty sure this is his first ever F1 league race. He's an ACC guy. So he's league raced before. You know, he knows the drill, and he's not a bad driver by any means. But I think this is his first dip into league racing on F1. So I think if he can get himself up maybe in a top 10, he's going to be ecstatic about it.
Yeah, early days obviously is when the season. Plenty of time to grow in ability, but... You know, we don't want to put anyone down, because we really, at the end of the day, we all started somewhere. As Greenwell Army, I think, is committing to pitting this lap he is, as he weaved up towards it. Probably thinking, can I take these softs another lap? No, you can't. Into the pit lane he goes.
And now, Michael Fures.
Yeah, Michael Fures, who's got to stop again. He started on the premiums, has gone into these, so he's got a soft stint to go. But Victor, if he can take those mediums to the end, it'll be a good task, but... You never know, if he can take those to the end, like Greenwell Army surely he's going to do, then we could have an absolute battle, because his tyres are, what, 4 laps, 5 laps?
Yeah, Victor's tyres are 4 laps old right now. Yeah, he's just started his 5th lap on them.
Yeah, as ISRL Hartman also goes by on the pair of medium compound tyres. Greenwell Army up behind now, in between Catastrophic and ISRL Hartman. And that gap to Catastrophic's come down by like 1.5 seconds through what, a 1 or 2 lap undercut. So, I mean, obviously he's pushed very hard, and maybe you had a bit of the DRS from Hartman, but
Look at this battle forming here out of the pits as the tire strategies come together. That's Hartman, Greenwell, and Catastrophic all within a second of each other. And that's come kind of out of nowhere as they were all quite far on track before the pit stops. And these different strategies kind of all melting together here in the middle part of this race. But I do welcome this 3-car battle, and I do hope it lasts a while. We're seeing Catastrophic there thinking about a move down the inside, but he's nowhere close enough for that. We've got a yellow flag in turn 3, and I believe that's gravel trap again. And yeah, he's having a bit of issues. For a new driver, especially a new driver to F1, that turn is tricky. So it's very easy for the rear end of the car to step out, and if you're on the gas when that happens, you're going to go around. You don't really have much choice or say in the matter at that point.
No, it's ISRL Hartman, by the way. We'll get on board with Greenwell Army, sorry. His ERS
down the inside. He's going to go really deep here. Yeah, really deep. Hartman is going to go right back through. Luckily for Greenwell, has not lost the position of Catastrophic yet, but there they go, side by side.
Yeah.
Catastrophic clearing the Williams way before turn 4, and that's going to be Catastrophic in P4.
Yeah, that's, depending on what Victor's doing, that could be provisional first place in this Grand Prix. Obviously, Greenwell Army got a bit greedy trying to get past ISRL Hartman at the earliest opportunity, saw the ERS light flashing. That meant he then lost DRS down the second or third back-to-back DRS straight. And now that means he's now down to P5, behind Catastrophic.
Yeah, and let's pull up the telemetry quickly here, as I do want to see what these guys are working with. You said, yeah, Hartman, he's low on the ERS. He's basically empty here, as he's got 43%, and Catastrophic 70%. He's got all of his hands in his, all of his cards in his deck still. He's yet to play them. Hartman's leaving it all on the table, and I think that's gonna be an easy overtake here. Just use a bit of overtake, bit of ERS, and ahead he goes of the Alpine. Greenwell right behind them, though, 40%. He's doing a good job conserving that battery. I think probably could conserve a little bit more. Hartman, though, he's not going to let a low battery discourage him from going for another overtake. Baits Catastrophic into going a little bit deep there. I think Catastrophic maybe thought Hartman was going to go for a move. Hartman, though, he needs to save here because, sure, you can use all your battery when you're battling with the other guys, but they're going to clear you eventually. They're on fresher tires than you, and then you're going to be kind of a sitting duck in terms of catching up or keeping up with them. So if I was Hartman, I don't know about you, but if I was Hartman, I would just kind of sit back, maybe let Greenwell pass me, save my ERS, and I'm just going to try to stick in his DRS train and just follow him. I got a 5.7 second gap to One Wing. My goal, if I'm Hartman, is to make sure One Wing does not catch up to me. So I got to start saving if I'm him.
Yeah, and One Wing's got 16 lap on mediums compared to his 8 lap on mediums. So obviously double the length he's done on those compound the tyre. As he looks for a move into turn 3, force Catastrophic to go a bit deep. This is now open up to Greenwell Army. But I do the same as you. I stick behind these, save up my ERS as long as I can, defending at least, just not burn it. But as soon as it becomes, you know, not feasible to defend anymore, you just have that battery now just to sit in that DRS train.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're in the DRS train, you don't actually need all that much battery to stay in it, because you got the DRS. You're going to stay within a second for sure on the straightaways unless they're using all their overtake. And in the turns, if they're close to each other, you're going to save a couple of tenths in the slow section, especially sector 2. So you can sit there, save your ERS in sector 2, and catch up to these guys quite easily, I think.
Yeah, Hartman still burning through that ERS quickly.
Oh yeah, so he's not giving up. Yeah, I think he really wants to stay ahead of the Williams here. If it works out for him, then props to him. But I do see maybe some ERS troubles hitting Hartman later in the race. I think that's One Wing and Racer Pone that are getting a little bit close together. And I'm going to turn off the telemetry here, but I will turn on the penalties because I am curious. Michael Fierez with 9 seconds. That puts him in P5 right now if we cross the line as we are right now. So he's going to need to open up that gap significantly if he wants those penalties to be a moot point, if he doesn't want to get screwed over by them.
Yeah, Greenwell Army quickly also here is really stuck up behind ISRL Hartman at this point. He's now burnt a bit more of his ERS down to about 40%. Hartman's got his up to about 15, now back down to 10% after burning comes to stay in front. I don't really think he needed to burn. Oh, as he loses it, all that for nothing, and the Williams hits him!
Oh no!
That doesn't give Greenwell Army damage, but
it doesn't look like it, actually. I think he might have gone away with that. I missed that on the stream there. I just caught them as they were driving away.
For it. He also got a time penalty for it, 5-second time penalty, so he'll do that in his pit stop now, I'd assume.
Yeah, and he is serving it here. Good news is for Hartman is if he was the one who got hit, he's not at fault for the incident. He can get that removed from the stewards if he chooses to report it. But front wing change for the Alpine, and off he goes. That's a slow pit stop, but that's not his choice or his... well, maybe it is his fault because he did break his wing. But I think you know what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Now, Fallen Monkeys, Catastrophic Victor. With a bunch of numbers at the end. All 3 drivers with no penalties so far. Fallen Monkeys has made a bit of a habit last season to to not take any penalties, take it slow and steady, and ends up getting quite a few positions towards the end of the Grand Prix, as he gets to vault over some of these other drivers like Michael Fierez, who are picking up 6-9 seconds in penalties. So will he get Michael Fierez from back there? Not at the moment, but if he gets up, or if there's a safety car yet, he could close up that gap, and that is super clutch for him. If there's a safety car, he would jump a lot of drivers if it happens towards the end of the Grand Prix. Now, it does seem we have a bit of a lull here. There's no active battles on track, so I think this is that's actually a really cool camera angle. Sorry for the really random segue, but I've never gotten that camera angle before, and that was awesome. All right, cool. Back onto what I was saying. Sorry, that really distracted me, but I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, it was on Catastrophic's onboard. I'm sure you can go look at the stream if you want to know what I'm talking about, but yeah, well, I was saying we've got a bit of a lull in the Grand Prix here, as everybody is on different strategies and different pit stops. So I think might as well, great time to thank all of our partners, IMB Racewear and Advanced Sim Racing, Jackson Protection Agency, and the IFEA, who help us present these Grand Prix to you every single week during our seasons. And yeah, I do want to thank all of them. There are links on all of our social media and links to their pages in our video descriptions. So if you guys want to go give their Facebook pages some love, Advanced Sim Racing do have something very special for us. I haven't announced it yet, and I'm not going to announce it here. That was going to come later this week, but as part of their partnership, they have given us some stuff to give to the drivers, and we will be announcing all of those shortly. IMB Racewear, of course, our merch supplier, and new Season 5 merch coming very, very soon, as again, Season 5 has absolutely snuck up on us. And with a busy schedule, there are a couple things that unfortunately did not get done before Austria, like our brand new merch, because I'm slow and I'm designing it myself, and I'll take full responsibility for that cool. Ooh, did you see that tank slapper from Captain Blade coming out of the penultimate corner? But back on topic, new IMB Racewear Season 5 merch coming shortly. That's getting announced and unveiled in the coming days. And Jackson Protection Agency, I think it's a good time to highlight who they are, because they're ISRL Hartman's buddies. He works for them. I don't know if it's his company or a part of his company or exactly, but I know he's a big guy in the Jackson Protection Agency world, taking care of a lot of stuff, and luckily for us, one of our drivers as well. And so I would like to thank Jackson Protection Agency for their help, and the IFEA, a organization of league owners who help other league owners keep their leagues clean, and help with stewarding and improve the overall world of sim racing. But all right, I think that's good for our sponsors, and I think that's good for me talking. I need a drink. So Jay Wills, why don't you? Let's see. Is there anybody nearby here?
Catastrophic gap was coming down slowly to the driver in front of Victor for P2, but Victor's tyres are aging at this point. So I think that we'll see that slowly drop away until either Victor caves in and makes the stop, or just sticks out to the end, because Michael Fierce does have a stop. As we get a yellow flag in the middle sector, Hartman, I believe, as you were talking about him. He's not taking care of his own Grand Prix, shall we say.
I am not taking responsibility for that spin. I did not jinx him. I did not jinx him.
Yeah, those fresh pair of softs won't be feeling any better, shall we say, at this point. But I remember you mentioned about Fallen Monkey, how he's had like a nice clean race at this point, no penalties. If you remember in qualifying, he was one of those that kept him validating. So maybe he's taken from that and gone, I don't want any time penalties here. Let's just keep it clean to the end and finish no penalties, because everyone else around him seems to pretty much have them.
Yeah, I'm going to avoid talking about him too much. He's behind the door behind me in the other room, and I don't want to inflate his ego too much, because then, I got to deal with it. So we'll just go with, yep, that's totally intentional. He didn't stumble onto a great strategy or anything. Okay, I think that's gotten his ego back down a little bit. No, he's...
Fluke artist.
Yeah, fluke artist, no skill.
There's a racer pounds in from that medium. So he went medium about what's that? Came in about lap 15, so he's now coming for his, I assume, fresh softs.
Yep,
I mean,
shorter
Vic
second
has
medium
put
stint,
hards on.
and no, he's got the softs on. He's going to try to make these last 10 laps count. And now you know what? No, I was going to say something. I'm going to wait. All right, mark it down. Say you were going to say something on lap 26, and I'm going to say it at the end of the race because last time I did, I jinxed like half the grid. So I'm not going to say. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to go back to knocking down Fallen Monkey's ego a few pegs. No, I'm messing. He actually is on a pretty decent strategy. Got himself up into P5. Do you think, I guess this is a big question, do you think those mediums are going to last to the end? He's on 11 lap olds right now. If you look on the onboards, they don't look too worn, but we've seen guys pit off of the mediums with only 11 laps. I mean, Racer Pone just did that.
Yeah, well, Michael Fury, as we're talking about that, has just come on to a pair of softs after doing 16.
And what's happening there? That was lag, I think. Okay. He was stationary for a very long time in the pits for me, and then darted to the end of the pit lane. So I thought there was a problem in the pit stop.
Oh, as we say, Fallen Monkey's in off 11 lap old mediums.
Oh, there you go.
A pair of softs as well.
That answers our question. He's not keeping those to the end. He's putting on the softs.
Yeah. So that now that puts all the eye marks really on Victor. Is he the one that's gonna risk taking the super long mediums to the end? He'll do what, another 9 laps? So I'll put him on 24 lap old mediums. I mean,
is that Gravel Trap? Yeah, Gravel Trap having some issues, and sorry to interrupt there. There's 2 yellow flags, and there was a red car as I was cycling through that I saw on the grass, actually. I think that might have been Captain Blade, but okay, yeah, some guys struggling on the new tires now. I'll let you finish what you're saying, though. Sorry for interrupting.
Well, Victor's come in now, and it basically just sorted out what I was going to say for me. He's coming to the pit lane off those mediums. Catastrophic must have made a bit of a catastrophic error because he dropped about 3 seconds off the back of Victor all of a sudden over about the space of a lap. So I'd assume that might be the yellow flag you may have seen because Greenwell Army now, he's back up behind you because Greenwell Army lost a lot of time due to Hartman. Was it? No, who was that span in front of him? Is it Hartman? Possibly. Yeah, it was Hartman who span in front of him. So, lost off to about 3 seconds behind Catastrophic, and now after that mistake from Catastrophic on those mediums, he's putting back up. But now, will these two be able to take the mediums much longer? Will they pit again for a pair of softs maybe?
Yeah, I guess we're going to see. I wasn't expecting Catastrophic in the lead, because I was actually before, I was going to add on to your point, that Catastrophic in the past has been good at taking tires very far into the race. And so you were saying maybe Greenwell is going to do it. I think maybe Catastrophic can do it. And if he can just, it's 28 out of 36. That's not too many laps to go. It'd be weird to pit now. I feel like the window for getting onto the softs at the end of the race has passed. So we will see. I can see Catastrophic taking this to the end of the race. Behind them, though, and this is where it's going to be dangerous, is Michael Furez on the softs, getting past Greenwell Army there. That's a lovely exit out of turn 1. And he's the man who's going to have to chase down Catastrophic. Good news for Catastrophic is he's got no penalties, and Michael Furez has got 9 seconds. Do you think Michael Furez can get a 9-second gap to the Alpha?
He's got to catch him, overtake him, and pull out by what, maybe 2 seconds or so a lap, pretty much between now and the end of the Grand Prix. It's a tough task, but if he's going to be able to do it, those fresh shots are going to be able to help him.
Yeah, it's a tough task, but, counterpoint, old mediums versus very fresh softs. So,
yeah.
And, he's getting very close. He's already caught up just about 1.5 seconds this lap alone, and that included an overtake. So, as Catastrophic defends the inside line there, or is that a pit stop? No, it's not.
No, it wasn't a defensive maneuver.
Yeah, on this track, we ask the drivers, you got to stay on the inside of the white line. Sometimes you're like, all right, is he pitting or is he just defending against me? And it gets a little bit confusing. But not for Michael Furez. Oh, he's so close. Did you see that? Almost licking the rear diffuser of Catastrophic. Left, right, left, right. He's trying to bait him, picking which way to go. And down the inside, he's going to overcook the corner. Right off the track. Is that going to give Catastrophic the lead again? Oh, they're side by side, and I saw some bits flying off. I don't know if that was off of Michael Furez's car or if he picked up a DRS board or something.
DRS polystyrene board he hit as he returned onto the track.
Well, that's probably the best thing he could have hit off of the track there. I was really worried he just damaged his front wing, but he's going to have to try again. He gets very close through Sector 2. You can just see how aggressive Michael Frez is being here all over the rear of the Alfa Romeo, and as he gets closer and closer and closer, not going to go for a move here, but he is going to try to set one up, I think, into the final corner. Let's ride on board with Michael Frez here as he get to this first of 3 DRS zones on the circuit. He's lost a bit of grounds, and for some reason, actually, you know what, though, that does make sense. Tucks out of the slipstream because he doesn't want to be too close into turn 1. That's a great thinking there by Michael Frez. He lets himself a bit more clean air into turns 1, gets himself a better exit into turn 3, onto the back straight into turn 3. Oh, that was close. He thought about it, backed out of it, and you can see just how he was trying not to overcook it like last lap. What that does, it lets Catastrophic take the lead once more, and some great defending here from Catastrophic on the much older tires. And 15 laps versus 3 laps. Is this where it's going to happen? He's going to try around the outside, Michael Frez, and he's going to have to go a little bit slower. He's going to get it done. What a beautiful overtake there from the Aston Martin as he goes around the outside of Catastrophic and takes the lead of the race. But I think that defense from Catastrophic might have just sealed him the win here, as now he's only got 5 laps, Michael Frez, to get a 9-second gap. Catastrophic has just got to stay within 9 seconds of the Aston Martin and not make any mistakes, and he could very well win this Grand Prix. As we hit lap 32, there is a yellow flag in Sector 2. That's Racer Pone. Oh yeah, man, what's happened to him?
As well in the lap. He went round earlier in the lap, so maybe struggling to pull the tyres off.
Could be. These curbs can be deadly if you hit them. I was practicing this morning, and I'm scared myself for the Division 2 race because I can already see a spin. It didn't end well for me last week in Hungary, and I was saying last week, and I was saying both for these guys and the other races, you know, you got to start the season off on the right foot because you start doubting yourself, that confidence starts to dip. It can be scary, and it can mean that you're not driving the same way. And, you know, it crashed out last week in Hungary. I was spinning in my practice this morning. Personally, I'm terrified of the race that's coming up, and I'm sure a lot of these guys here might have felt the same way coming into this race. I do wonder how many of them are going to feel the same way coming out of this race, because we've seen some great performances today.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be, you know, gassing up your flatmate here, but he's right up behind Luciano, who's in 15 lap holds soft to this point, compared to 4 lap holds off. So he might be getting the move done here, and then penalties-wise, may be able to get past race plan if he can get past Luciano quickly and close the gap up again.
Yeah, and had to back out of that one there. He's had much more speed than Luciano through, I believe that was turns 5, sorry, and that it did cost him a little bit of time, but he's right back to where he was, and now with DRS should be a bit of an easier time. If we pop open our telemetry here, he's got basically a full battery. Yeah,
as he gets right, Luciano runs a bit wide through turn 1. A lot of the drivers will probably have been seen doing that today, to be fair, trying to avoid the penalties. As Luciano basically just pulls out the way, gets into the slow lane, shall we say, almost. Lets him go, but then he goes deep.
Oof, yeah, bit of a mistake there. That's going to give Luciano the place back. I don't know if you noticed that they're coming out of turn 1. It's what I was talking about with Michael Frez earlier, how he backed out from behind Catastrophic on that start-finish straight to set himself up for a better opportunity into turn 1. Fallen Monkeys didn't do that. He stayed very close to Luciano. What happened is he had to back out a little bit, you know, get off the throttle after already stepping on it on the exit of turn 1. And it cost him a lot of speed down the straightaway. And I think had he not had to do that, he would have cleared out Luciano quick enough that he wouldn't have had to brake late into turns 3. He might have made that move stick. But unfortunately for him, he's right back to where he was just a lap ago, if not even a little bit further back. He's got to start using his ERS, though. There's 3 laps left in the race. He's got a full battery. He's got to start pushing a little bit.
Yeah, Luciano running wide again here. Here we go, up to turn 3. Will he get darts to the left? Little move to the left from Luciano, then moves back to the right, lets him go. Will he outbrake himself this time?
It doesn't.
He does.
Oh, he does. Not as much. Oh man, not as much as last time.
DRS and battery though, if he can get the run, which I don't think he will, because he had a bit of a.
Yeah, and
dodgy exit due to Fallen Monkey being sort of where he wanted to be, but Fallen Monkey is going deep almost at every opportunity, trying to throw away this P7. As we talk about, Victor past Greenwell Army down to turn 1, but Greenwell Army holds it round the outside.
There are side-by-side still down this straightaway, and they're not so close. They're giving each other room. I don't think that's going to be the case as we get to turns 3, but Victor able to clear the Williams out. Now, I did want to point out how unlikely we said it was for Michael Fures to put a 9-second gap to Catastrophic. He's got an 8.2-second gap, and he's got a lap and a half to go. Catastrophic needs to turn on the jet engine here. He needs to go now if he wants to keep this win. If not, he's going to have to settle for P2. He's got about 4 tenths to work with. Of course, that means Michael Fires needs to not take any other penalties in this last lap as we get on to lap 35 out of 36, and is going to be lap
DRS.
36 out of 36. He is going to get DRS on a back marker, and I think that might be it for Michael Fires. I think he might have been able to do it here. He's got a lap to go yet. Don't want to jinx him, but oh no, I did jinx him. That's 12 seconds. No, on the exit of turn 1 on the last lap, he takes another 3, and Catastrophic must be breathing a sigh of relief. That could be heard around the world right now, as he's now got another 3 seconds to play with.
Yeah, and a bit more battery as well. Captain Blades, who was in the lead of this race, is now almost benefiting Michael Fures. But I wouldn't put it beyond the possibility that he pulls 2 seconds still in the rest of this lap. I really wouldn't. 20 lap on mediums.
It's going to be close.
For all this battery, it could be close.
He's already picked up a second and a half here in half a lap.
Catastrophic.
Oh,
Michael Fries has
no! No, that's it! He's out of the race! The leader is out of the race with 2 corners to go!
Victor got past Catastrophic and spun! Oh my God!
What is happening on this final lap? Our leader is out of the race with just 2 corners to go. Catastrophic is going to inherit the lead, and Victor with a spin as well. That gives Greenwell Army, and I think very unlikely, One Wing, who had a pit on lap 1. He had to pit at the end of lap 1. He's in 3rd place. Catastrophic is going to win the Austrian Grand Prix. Greenwell Army crossing the line right behind him in the Williams.
Well.
And Victor's out as well. And that's 2 of our top 3 here on the final lap with 2 corners to go out of this race. Racer Pone coming home in 4th. Fallen Monkeys is going to take P5 if he can just keep it together for the final 2 corners. But at this point, I'm not so sure if anybody is.
He might grab P4 with penalties, will he?
And he will! Fallen Monkeys into P4, and Hartman is going to cross the line, P6, Luciano Huck P7, and Philip Marshall is going to be P8. Now, is Captain Blade going to finish ahead? Yes, he is. He is going to take that position there from Michael Fries. So at least for him, at least from what we've seen so far, our 2 possible title contenders won't be separated by too much. So good news from Captain Blade. Has he run out of fuel?
I think he's in a max burnout.
He's showing his frustration there for the race that was, as he does a couple of spins there near the line. He's the last car on track. We're not going to give him too much trouble for that. Yeah, it would have been quite funny if he retired there just a few meters before the line. Yeah. But for future reference for drivers, we will say don't do that. Unless you are very much the last car on track, because if you hit somebody while you're doing that, like you are going to get penalized to oblivion, and you have no idea. Wow, what a finish! Catastrophic with the win here, and he is picking up the trophy, throwing it up in the air. That seemed unlikely right up until the end, and then it seemed likely again, and then all of a sudden it was certain as Michael Fures spinning late in the race. And I think, I don't know if you just want, I think it's a public party. You should be able to send our podium winners just an invite there. If that would be possible, try to get them in for a quick interview here. But what a finish. I have trouble believing what I just saw.
Yeah, let's see what I can do here, getting these boys into the party.
And as you can see there, Catastrophic P1 for the Alfa Romeo, winning on his comeback race to ISRL, and Greenwell Army taking his maiden podium. P2 here, and One Wing as well. Oops, sorry, you might not see my screen there. I've accidentally opened up the screenshot gallery. One Wing, P3, that's another podium for him. That continues a streak of good results from the end of last season. Fallen Monkeys, P4, Racer Pone, P5, Hartman, P6, Lucianox, 7th, Philip Marshall, 8th, Captain Blade, 9th, Victor, Michael Fear, as they both DNF'd right at the end there, but they are going to finish 10 and 11 because they have completed 90% of the race instance. In fact, they completed 90% of the final lap, but not the 10% that mattered the most, and that's going to be the end of our inaugural Grand Prix. And what a race this has been here. It's honestly, I was like, well, this is a great race, and then everything unfolded in the last lap, and I have still no idea what happened, and I'm still a bit shocked here. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking because I'm just rambling at this point. Please, Jay Wills, what did you think of the end of that race?
It's been a very busy Grand Prix to say the least, and then all of a sudden the F1 gods looked down at us and went, you know what, lads, you deserve this chaos.
Oh man, it just when I thought the race was said and done for, Michael Fres takes a penalty, and then I was like, oh well, maybe Catastrophic can catch up, and then Michael Fres starts to pull away, and I'm like, oh, there's no way he's gonna get the 3-second gap in a single lap. And I think he just pushed a little bit too hard. Maybe knew he needed 3 seconds, and in the end, it cost him everything as he spins with just 2 corners to go in Austria here. Giving Catastrophic the lead, and then Victor as well. Victor could have taken this win, but he spins after overtaking Catastrophic. So Catastrophic effectively went from P3 to P1 in the span of 2 corners and didn't have to do a single overtake on his own. So yeah, that's absolutely incredible end to this race. Now that we are at the end of the Grand Prix, that we are waiting for our podium drivers to hopefully join the interview room. I think it's a good time to once again thank our sponsors and our partners, Advanced Sim Racing. They are a Canadian sim chassis manufacturer. They make some awesome custom sim racing chassis, as well as sell some peripherals, mounts and seats and what have you. Anything you need to get an awesome sim rig, they have. And you can use code ISRL Esports 5 for 5% off your purchase. And like I mentioned earlier in the race, we've got this very, very cool announcement of something that they've maybe a little something special that they've given us for the drivers here to give out at the end of the season, and so tune into our social media pages for that. Tune into their social media pages for awesome sim racing stuff and chassis. And they actually just announced a partnership with Thrustmaster, so they know what they're doing there with their sim rigs. And of course, IMB Raceware, a longtime partner, and our sim merch makers, I guess that's a word. Yes. Thank you for the awesome merch. I am designing our next season's merch because, fun fact, I kind of work for them. So they trusted me to make our cool merch, and I should have that unveiling for everybody shortly, and can't wait to share what you guys can get this season. We're going to have way more stuff than last season. It's going to be awesome. Jackson Protection Agency, as we mentioned earlier, go check out their social media pages in the bottom. Thank you for your monthly support now for what is a bit over a season, and very happy that we got to renew this for this season. And of course, the IFEA owners, Esports Owners Association, and we do hope to unveil show you a bit more of what's planned for the IFEA in the near future. For now, though, don't think we're getting any drivers to join, are we? So,
one at the Greenwell Army, I couldn't invite you to a setting, so I believe that.
Oh, well, that's all right.
We're not going to get them tonight.
Well, we've tried. It seems like Division 4 drivers are too busy popping open the champagne and celebrating. We're not going to get them in to talk to us here. But Catastrophic, your winner. I will slide over to my DMs and send him a big congrats here. And we will be able to move on to the rest of the day. We've got Division 3, I think. Oh, actually, Catastrophic has just joined. So might as well get the interview there going now. Jay Wills, if you don't mind, I'll let you conduct this one, as we've got a bit of a situation with the Div 3 commentator's mic that needs sorting. So I'll pass the mic over to you. Oh, but first, Catastrophic, big congratulations, because I'm going to mute my mic for a second. I didn't want to say it. Oh, you haven't shared the settings?
I was going to say, have you shared the internet? Voice settings.
All right. Well, we can have J Wills if you want to just, I guess, repeat for now, or if Catastrophic wants to switch the setting quickly. I'll let you guys figure it out, and I'll just try to deal with the Div 3 comms so that we can get the stream up for Div 3.
Yeah. So Catastrophic, mate. Absolute carnage last lap. What was your thinking coming into the final lap?
And it seems like he's maybe lagged out of the party there.
Yeah, but problems possibly.
Yep, that's all right. Well, it's the end of our race, and it's the end of our stream. Anyways, we'll take off now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Grand Prix. We've got me and J Wills in the Alpine Division 2. You know who you're cheering for. It better be us. Coming up in what now? About an hour from now. So we'll try to, Yeah, that makes sense. About an hour from now. We'll try to go help Div 3 with their streams there so we can get that race streamed for you. And then after that, we'll be back for Div 2, Div 1 later tonight. Don't go anywhere. Come back, tune in, watch me and J Wills get an awesome 1-2 in Austria later today. Yes, yep. And I'm crossing my fingers, so it's not a jinx. Hope you guys had a great day. I'm signing off. ISRL Knight in the booth. Thank you for watching. J Wills, if you have any parting words you want to say before I end the stream, say them now.
No, just thank you for having me again. Lovely to be back in the commentary booth with you, and we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, that was exactly nice and concise, just how I like them. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was awesome having J Wills as well, and have a great rest of your day.